All right, welcome back to Q-Tips. As always, these are my opinions and my opinions only. Today we're just talking about the Eagles-Chiefs game. Just a recap of that game. Wasn't the most exciting football game ever, but as usual, Chiefs-Eagles, both teams, they don't play the most fun style of football, but they do play winning football. The Eagles won the game by 3, 20-17. Could have been more, could have been less. When it's a single score game, they could be changed on plays, a single play here or there. I will say the Eagles looked like the better team. They felt like the better team. They are very conservative with their play calls. However, they are, and Andy Reid was actually a little aggressive with his play calls, which is very uncommon for Andy Reid. When he went for that fourth down on their own territory, the 4th and 1 that the Chiefs actually got stopped on, they really had no chance. The Eagles were in the backfield right at the snap. But that's not normal for Andy Reid. He normally will kick the field goal, not go for the touchdown. He will not normally go for it on 4th down, especially in their own end zone. Everybody believes he's an aggressive coach because he has all the bells and whistles to his offense. But Andy Reid is actually a very conservative coach because normally he has Patrick Mahomes and he knows he has the better team. He has the better defense, and he's just trying to win the games. In that game, I believe he knew he did not have the better team. He knew he did not have the better offense or defense. So he was a little more aggressive in his play calls, which was probably the right call. The Chiefs needed, if they were going to win that game, a couple things needed to happen. The first thing was the Eagles did win that game. There was no doubt about that. That game was never really in concern for the Eagles. It was always close, but the Eagles always had the upper hand. And I say that because the Eagles had the opportunity to just run the clock out. They had the opportunity to control the ball. They were never actually scared that the Chiefs were going to just run away from them. They never had to get away from their game plan, which is always run the football, play defense, and take whatever the defense is giving them. Now, Spagnuolo, the Chiefs defensive coordinator, tried a few things differently. He actually blitzed Jalen Hurts, the highest rate he's ever blitzed in any game ever, 67%. They only got pressure on 33% on the blitz, which is horrible, which is not very good success rate. If you're blitzing that often, you're suspecting to get pressure when you blitz. And the fact that they only got pressure on a third of the plays they blitzed, and they blitzed 2/3 of the time, that's a bad pass rush. That's not a good sign for the Chiefs. The Eagles didn't need to pass the ball that much, and they didn't. And they won't unless they absolutely have to. That's just how they're going to play. It doesn't matter what the media says. It doesn't matter what people say on the outside. And if they think people are saying differently on the inside, I don't believe them. Like, they're going to do whatever is meant the highest efficiency to win the game, which is protect the football, run the football, play defense. And that's exactly what they did. In the fourth quarter, when the game got a little close, and I was actually hoping that they would throw the ball on that last drive. They felt like they didn't need to, but the Chiefs knew they had to run the ball, and they were still able to run the ball. They were able to get 9 yards with Saquon on first down when everybody in the world knew they were running it. And then once they get to 2nd and 1, it's all over. We know what's happening. The tush push. I'll say this about the tush push. As an Eagles fan, I will admit that the play is the play. And if you can't stop it, that's your problem, because other teams have tried to run it and it's not nearly as successful. And if it was so easy, every team should be running it. I'm not saying that it's going to be in the NFL for long, because believe me, the NFL doesn't like how it looks. They don't like the fact that Roger Goodell does not like the play. It's just facts that it's not going to last very long. It's the same thing. It seems like it seems like the conclusion of the play is that the Eagles are going to get the first down or get the yard that they need. It's like a foregone conclusion, and the NFL does not like foregone conclusions. The extra point, when it used to be from the 1 yard line, it seemed like a foregone conclusion when they used to kick from the 2 yard line. So they moved that back to give it just a little bit of intrigue. The NFL does not like things like that. Now, with all the offsides on the play and all of that, I can say the Eagles did jump on maybe one or two of those. However, there have been so many tush pushes where the defense has jumped and they have not got calls. And if you want to talk about refereeing in that game, you can go back and see so many plays. I mean, the play that Patrick Mahomes ran in the end zone, the Chiefs offensive line tackled 2 defenders, and there was no defensive hold. They just straight out tackled them right off the line of scrimmage. So there were at least 4 calls that were holds. Fletcher, Jalen Carter getting held twice, and at the top of the line, Hunt's got held a few times, and it was exactly what they're looking for: arm across the neck, arms up. Like, there were so many defensive holds that were not called, or offensive holding that was not called on the defensive line. And like both Kelsey brothers have said, you can't leave the game in the ref's hand. Now, do I believe that the Eagles jumped on one of them? Yes, I do. Like, it looked like they did. However, the play before that, I do not. That's how we knew the NFL is over the tush push, because it was the most obvious camera angle that Jalen Hurts was in on that 3rd down tush push. You could see it right down the line. If that was any other play, say if that was the Bears playing the Lions and that was DeAndre Swift on the line, if that was a running back or any other play, and they had that line, that shot of the ball clearly crossed the plane, that would have been a touchdown. However, it was a tush push, so say what you want, but they did not call that a touchdown, even though it was blatantly obvious that Jalen Hurts broke the line. So I'm not going to say the tush push is the most exciting play, but it is a play that works for the Eagles, and it is a part of Jalen Hurts' arsenal. If you don't think that Jalen Hurts' ability to get 1 yard is the most powerful thing, you don't understand football. The amount of players that would have liked to be able to get 1 yard, it's every single game. Every single game, there's a play or two that comes down the 1 yard that make or break those games. And the fact that the Jalen Hurts and the Eagles can get them at free will it's beyond description of how much that adds to their winning percentage. I saw that it was a 16% change in winning percentage with the tush push just in that one game. 16% is astronomical. That means like a coin flip, a 50-50 game goes from basically a 2/3 to 1/3 game in winning percentage. So if it's a 50-50 game and you got 16% just off the tush push in that game alone, that goes from 2/3 Eagles, 1/3 Chiefs. Like that's game-changing numbers, especially in one-score games. The other thing is, it always comes down to the same thing. Like, the Chiefs took like 12 plays or 13 plays, dink and dunks. They fought and battled for that touchdown that they got. And it looks so hard. And Vic Fangio's defense, that's exactly what they want you to do. They want to keep everything in front of them, and they tackle. They'll give you, a few plays here and there, but you have to string together all these events for it to go well. And it went well for them once, and it took them everything in the world for them to get that. And then the Eagles went right down the field and scored right after that drive. And it was a lot easier looking for the Eagles because they could just hand the ball off most of the time. And then the Chiefs try to put another drive together. And at the very last play of that drive, it goes off Travis Kelce's hands into an Eagles defender. He catches it. And honestly, that turnover was the game. And it is always the game, especially between two teams like that. Turnovers are the most important statistic when it comes to winning, especially in a game of that magnitude. In that, when it's two teams that are that well coached, it comes down to turnovers. Turnovers are key because they add possessions to the other team. And don't get me wrong, I love Travis Kelce. I had someone text me earlier in the game that when he dropped that one pass that he looked washed. And I said, I don't think he looks washed. He's just not how he was. But after he drops a touchdown, that's 2 weeks in a row now that he has failed to catch touchdown passes that should have been caught. And both of those, I'll say the one today led to very much so, maybe not a loss, because you never know what happens, because everyone says, oh, it wouldn't have went the same way. Like, if the Eagles were trailing, they would have started throwing the ball. That's just how it works. So the game plans change. However, the Chiefs should have had the lead at some point in that game because Travis Kelce should have caught that. And I would like to see what the Eagles do trailing, because they always play it from ahead, which, I mean, it is great as an Eagles fan. You'd rather be ahead than behind. But when they're always playing from ahead, they're always playing very conservative and to just grind out the clock. And when Kelce dropped that touchdown into another person's hands, into the defender's hand, that really hurt. Last week against the Chargers, he stopped running on a route and missed that touchdown because he came up short. And that's 2 weeks in a row where I feel like Travis is going to feel like he personally let the team down, maybe a fault for the loss. And he may be right, but I do think Travis will be okay. His life's going pretty well. The Eagles' defense is growing week to week. You can tell that this defense, just like last year when they started 2-2, they looked lost until they had their 5th week bye, and then they came out in the week 6, and the defense looked totally different. I honestly think the defense is getting up faster than it'll be for that like last year, because a lot of the players were there, but about half of the defense was turned over. Like 5 starters were not did not come back this year as compared to last year. So it will take some time to grow. And I also believe that the offense will grow. I don't think the offense will ever look like what everybody in the media wants it to be. But Jalen Hurts just wants to win. The Eagles just want to win. They are not going to do anything to put the ball in harm's way. And that's exactly what Jalen Hurts does. He does not make that throw that'll put the ball in harm's way. The Eagles will do whatever it takes to win. I do believe that also it's injuries. Like I said in a previous one, there's about 8 teams that can win the Super Bowl. Eagles being one, Chiefs being one. There's other teams in there, obviously. However, I did say it's usually the Super Bowl is comprised of the 2 most healthy teams at the end of the year of those 8 teams. And right now the Chiefs are just not healthy. There's no way to get beyond that. Well, okay, Rashid Rice is not hurt, but from his own doing, he's suspended for his own faults, and that's why he's not out there. And then obviously Xavier Worthy got hurt by Travis Kelce, and that really hurts. You can't come into the season hoping to have, like, those are your 2 best offensive weapons, and you don't have them. So I don't think the Chiefs are done, even though going 0-2 in the NFL is not a good sign. For history, it's about 11% of teams that go 0-2 actually make the playoffs, let alone, with the Chiefs, it's all Super Bowl talk, but only 11% of teams that start 0-2 even make the playoffs. Now, everything's situational based. The Ravens did it last year. The Ravens started 0-2, and they were just fine. The difference is the Chiefs' division looks a lot better this year. The Chargers look a lot better. The Raiders look better. The Broncos look up and down, but you would think they look better. So the Chiefs are not out of it, but they do have a tough schedule, and it could be one of those just injury-plagued years for the Chiefs, and it happens to every team. It happens every so often, and I will say if Mahomes keeps running like he has been the first 2 weeks, he will not survive 17 weeks. Mahomes is solid for a quarterback. He's a bigger guy. He is a little thicker than most people as far as quarterbacks. But the way he's lowering his shoulder in these games, he is not going to survive 17 weeks of running the ball like that. He's on a pace for over 1,000 yards rushing. If Patrick Mahomes is running 1,000 yards, the Chiefs are in trouble. You cannot let a quarterback like that run that much. Now, Patrick Mahomes is great when he's scrambling and he gets his runs and he goes out of bounds. But these are now becoming more almost, I don't want to say designed runs, but he's relying on them too much. If he's going to keep doing that and people are going to take hits, especially because he doesn't always go out of bounds on the sideline. Sometimes he does that little shimmy step and tries to get some extra yardage. And if he keeps doing that, one of these guys is going to come in and just fly right through him. They're gonna make him punished, even if they take a flag for it. So if he doesn't continue to get out of bounds and keeps taking hits to get a few extra yards, one of these strong safeties is going to come flying down there and just run right through him, and it is not going to be good for him. And also, he's not built to run that often. I do believe the Chiefs will be fine. I do believe the Eagles are the best team in the NFL still. I know the Packers look amazing, and I agree. They probably really do. However, it takes experience to learn how to win, and the Eagles do have that experience. And I think it showed the Chiefs have that experience. There's a lot of teams that have that experience. Now, it doesn't mean, other teams will get it when they get it, and it might be the Packers' year. It might be the Bills' year, the Ravens' years. But until they prove that and show that, I still will take the best team with the best winning most recently. Like, if the Chiefs were 2-0, I would say it's the Chiefs right now. But right now it's the Eagles, and I do believe that was a big win. I honestly felt like it meant more for the Chiefs. The Chiefs kind of needed that win more than the Eagles did. If the Eagles went 1-1 and lost to the Chiefs, it wouldn't have been that detrimental. The Chiefs going 0-2 is it's really bad for them because they don't have an easy schedule coming up either. But that's all I got for this. I hope you enjoy the pods.